This conference will now be recorded.
Fine, let us start the session. Let me go and open the course content. Now, here guys, in today's session, we're going to discuss about the components. What is meant by components? What are the different types of components are available, and when to use these components? What are the advantages of components? We'll understand now in today's session. So, not to go and work with the components, let me go and open one notepad. Let me open one notepad, and let me keep here today's topic name as components. One of the most important topic. Try to understand it, guys. In every app in the real time, we'll make use of these components. So let me keep here components. What is meant by components in Power Apps? See, basically, what is meant by components means components are the, let me keep here, components are the reusable, reusable building blocks of, reusable building blocks in, reusable building blocks in Power Apps, Power Apps, Canvas apps. What is this components means? Components are the reusable building blocks in Power Apps, Canvas app. In Power Apps, we have a Canvas apps. Within the Canvas apps, these components are the reusable building blocks. That means what the components means. These are first point you need to understand. These are the reusable building blocks in Power Apps, Canvas apps. Now, what the components will contains means components will contains components contains the group of controls. Components will contains what? The group of controls that can be, or group of controls which can be reused, which can be reused in multiple screens, in multiple screens of the Canvas apps. What the components will, I said that components is the reusable building blocks. Now what the components will contains means components contains the group of controls which can be reused in multiple screens of the Canvas apps. Whenever if you want to reuse the controls in multiple screens of the apps, then in this case we can go and create the components. Basically where we can go and use these components means components are going to be used in the complex apps or large apps. Let me keep here components. Components are used in large apps, large apps and complex apps. Whenever if you are building some complex apps or the large apps, then in this case we can go and use these components. Now let me give one scenario, guys, where we can go and use these components. I said that these are the reusable building blocks. And what the components will contains means I said that components will contains the group of controls which can be reused in multiple screens of the app. Let us say I'm having an app here. Let's say I'm having an app. In this app, let's say this is an app. In this app, I'm having the multiple screens. I'm having the multiple screens. Screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. Like this, I am having the multiple screens. Let me keep here screen 1. This one is screen 2, and next one is screen 3, and another one is screen 4. Like this, I am having the multiple screens. Now see, if you observe, one of the requirement here is every screen. If you go and see in your apps also, almost every screen will have the headers. Every screen will have what? Every screen will contains the headers, guys. This screen, for screen 1 will have some header. Screen 2 also will have some headers. Screen 3 also will have some header. Screen 4 also will have some headers. So like this, we have the screens. If you have 10 screens, for all the 10 screens we need to keep some header. So see, in the header, I'm going to, let us say we are going to use some same kind of controls. Let us say in the header is nothing but what is the screen name? Let us say welcome screen, form screen, gallery screen, data view screen. Like this, there are different screen names will be there. So each screen will have some headers. So my requirement here is I want to keep the header for all the screens. So instead of going and creating the header manually for all the screens, you can go and create the header by using the components. You can go and create the header by using the components. Once if you create a header with the help of components, you can use this header which is created in the components in all the apps. You can go and use that header in multiple apps, guys. So instead of going and creating the same header in multiple screens, create the header once with the help of components and reuse that header, whatever the header you created in the components, in the multiple screens. So component, whenever if you create a component, we are going to reuse it. So components are the reusable building blocks in Power Apps canvas. And what the components will contains means group of controls. Components will contains the group of controls which can be reused in multiple screens of the app. And in which scenarios we can go and use this means, or where we can go and use this components means, mostly whenever you are building some complex apps or large apps, then in those apps you need to go and use this components. Components will play a major role in the real-time scenarios. Most cases we'll use the components in the, whenever you are building the large apps or some complex apps. In this case we can go and use the components. And one more point, why we need to go and use the components means, if you see, if there are 10 screens in an app, this is my app, guys. I'm building one app, 10 screens is there. Now for all the 10 screens I need to go and keep the header. For all the 10 screens I need to go and keep the header. If you keep the header for all the 10 screens, screen 1, screen 2, screen 3 manually, the number of controls will increase. The number of controls you are going to use it in the app will be increases. Always you need to always we need to reduce the number of controls, we are going to build an app. So Microsoft recommended, according to the Microsoft, let me keep here, according to Microsoft, how many controls an app contains means, according to Microsoft, an app contains 500 controls, maximum 500 controls, guys. An app contains how many controls? Microsoft said that maximum, how many controls an app contains means, an app contains max, you can go and use the 500 controls. If you are using more than 500 controls to create an app, then your app doesn't work more efficiently. If you want to work your app more efficiently, if you want to improve the performance of your app, better to go and use the less number of controls. Maximum you can use how many controls means, Microsoft recommended to go and use only 500 controls to create an app. So if you are using the same control, let us say if there are 20 screens is there, for all the 20 screens I need to go and create a header, how many controls we are using here? So same action but different controls we are using again and again. So the number of controls will be increases. So in order to go and reduce the number of controls, while developing the app, we need to go and we can go and use this components. How the components will be used to reduce, you'll understand while we'll create an app practically, there you'll understand, guys. So keep in mind, what is this component? And Microsoft recommended how many controls we can use to create an app. Means Microsoft recommended use the 500 controls to create an app, then your app performance will be increases. If you are using more than 500 controls, automatically the performance of our app will be decreases. And now see, as I said that when we are going to use this components, means let me give one scenario when in which scenarios we can go and use it here. As I said that whenever we want to reuse the same controls in multiple screens. Whenever if you want to reuse the same controls in multiple screens, or let me keep in another way, let me keep it like this only. Whenever if you want to reuse the same controls in multiple screens of the app, then in this case you can go and use the components. By using components, how we can reduce the number of controls, you'll understand. And next point we need to understand here is, types of components. There are two different types of components are available in Power Apps. How many components are available means types of components. There are two components in Power Apps. One is local components. Second one is global components. First one is local components. Second one is what? Global components. Now, what is this local components? What is this global components? First, let me go and discuss about what is this local components, and then later we'll be discussing about what is this global components. First, let me discuss about what is this local components. Try to understand what is meant by this local components means. Where we will create, first point you need to understand, where we will create this local components means local components are created within the Canvas app, or created within the Canvas apps. Within the Canvas apps, you can go and create the local components. And whatever the local components you are creating within the Canvas apps, if you want to reuse this local components in multiple screens of the same app, means yes, we can reuse it. Let me keep here. Local components can be reused in multiple screens of the same app. Within the same app, in which Canvas app you are creating this local components, within this Canvas app, if you want to reuse this local components in multiple screens of the same app, you can go and use it. Local components can be reused in multiple screens of the same Canvas app, guys, of the same Canvas apps. If you want to reuse this local components in another app, means no, it is not possible. The third point you need to understand here is it is not possible to use the local components in another apps, in another Canvas apps, in another Canvas apps. If you want to go and create this local components, means no, it is not possible. 3 points you need to understand here, guys. What the first point is, where we can create the local components within the Canvas apps, and whatever the components you are going to create within the Canvas app, if you want to use these components in multiple screens of the same Canvas app, you can go and use it. Local components can be reused in multiple screens of
Venki,
the
Yeah, that is third point. It is not possible. I think you just not mention not.
It is not possible. Correct. Now see, the second point, local components can be reused in multiple screens of the app. But whereas when coming to, if you want to use these local components in another apps, another canvas apps, means no, it is not possible. It is not possible to reuse, or it is not possible to use the local components in another canvas app. So these are the 3 points you need to understand what is meant this local components. Another one is global components, guys. Now what is meant this global components means, first point you need to understand where we can create these global components. Global components are going to be created. Let me keep here. The first point here is global components will be created. Global components are created outside of the canvas app, guys. Where we can create means it is going to be created outside of the canvas apps. Where we can create these global components means global components are going to be created outside of the canvas apps using component libraries. Using what? Component library. By using the component libraries, we can go and create these global components in outside of the canvas app. But where we can create the local components, within the canvas app you can create. Within the canvas app you can go and create the local components. Where we can go and create the global components means we can go and create the global components outside of the canvas app by using which option here is, with the help of this components library. The help of the component library, you can go and create this global variables outside of a canvas app. And the second point you need to understand, if you want to use these global components in all the screens of the canvas apps means yes, you can go and use it. Let me keep here. Global components, global components can be reused in multiple screens of the canvas apps. If you want to reuse the global components in multiple screens of the canvas apps, you can go and use it. And next point, third point here is, it is possible to use the global components in another app means, let's say I'm creating one global component, it is possible to use this global components in multiple apps means yes, you can go and use it. It is possible to, it is possible to create, it is possible to work, not create, it is possible to use, it is not, it is possible to use the global components, the global components in another canvas apps also. You can use the global components in multiple screens of the same app, or if you want to use the global components in another apps also, you can go and use it. So this is the differences between the local components and global components. Let's try to understand what is meant this local components, what is this global components. Local components can be created within the apps, within the canvas app, and you can reuse this local components in multiple screens of the same app. It is not possible to use the local components in another apps. We are not able to use it in another app. But whereas global components can be created outside of the canvas app using the component library. If you want to reuse this global components in multiple screens of the same canvas app means yes, you can use. And if you want to use these global components in another app means, within the another apps means you can go and use it. This is the differences between local and global components. Now let me go and open the Power Apps and let me show you what, in which scenarios I said that here, whenever if you want to reuse the same controls in multiple screens of the apps, then in this case we can go and create the components. So let me give one scenario and let me show you how to go and create the local components and how to go and create the global components. Now let me go to the Power Apps and then let me go to any one of the app, or let me go and create a new app. Let me go and create one new app. Go to the Canvas app, create the app. Let me keep the app name as components. Tablet mode, let me go the tablet mode itself. Create it. Let me go and create the components. I'm getting one app here. Now see here guys, this is the welcome screen you will get. As we know that, go to the tree view. This is the Canvas app now. Now on the Canvas app, in the left side, under the tree view, you'll find an option called component. You'll find an option called component. This is the place where you can go and create this local components. First we'll discuss about local components and then we'll discuss about the global components. Before going to discuss about the local components, let me give one scenario. Let's say I'm on the screen one. Let me rename the screen one to welcome screen. Welcome screen. Now in this screen, I want to go and keep some header, guys. Let's say I'm keeping some header. Let's say I'm keeping some header. Let me keep it in the bold and let me increase some size. Align it in the center. Align to center. Now I'm changing the text here. What's the text here is? Let me keep the header as welcome. I'm keeping the header as what? Welcome. And let me change the background color. Let me keep some background color. This font color. Let me change the font color to white and let me go to the background color. Change the background color. Now see, this is the welcome screen. I need to go and create another screen now. I'm creating another screen. This screen is gallery screen. I'm renaming it to gallery screen. Now in this screen also I want to go and keep the same header now. So I'm going to keep the header now here also. Now do some formatting, size 20, keep it in the bold, align it to center, font is white, and then border color is, sorry, fill color is something like orange. Now go and change the text here. Let us say I'm keeping here gallery. Gallery is the header I'm keeping. Next, I need to go and create another screen. Let me go and create another screen. This screen is, let us say, form screen. The screen name is what? Form screen. Now in this screen also I need to go and create one header. In this screen also I need to go and create one header. So let me go and do some same formatting 20. Let me size keep it to bold, align it to center, font color is white, background color is orange. Now let me go and change the text. Let me keep it as form screen. Forms. Now see what I am doing here. I'm having how many screens? 3 screens. One is what? The first screen is what? Welcome screen. The first screen is what? Welcome screen. In the welcome screen, I'm having header. So in order to go and keep the header, I'm adding one label. In that label, I'm keeping the text as welcome. I'm going to the screen 2, gallery screen. In the gallery screen also, I'm adding one label and I'm keeping the text as gallery. And I'm going for the third screen, form screen. Here also, I'm adding one text label. In this label, I'm keeping the text as forms. Now I'm having 3 screens here. In these 3 screens, I want to keep the header. I want to keep the header. So instead of what I'm doing here, manually each and every screen I'm adding one text label and then I'm changing the border color, width, font color, and I'm fitting the header for all the 3 screens. This is manual I'm doing. Suppose think that there are 20 screens in the app. You can go and create what do? You need to go and do what? You need to go on each and every screen and you need to add one label. You need to go and add one label and you need to change the background color and you need to change the what is the text you want to keep. Now for 20 screens, if you want to keep the headers means how many labels you need to go and use, how many text labels you need to go and use. For this screen I'm using one text label. Let us say 20 screens is there. For all the 20 screens I need to go and keep headers. If I want to keep the header for all the 20 screens, now how many text labels I need to go and use in the app? In this app, how many text labels I need to go and use just to keep the header? 20 text labels I need to go and use it. Just to keep the header, if you are using 20 text labels, then think if you want to build an app, how many controls you need to go and use? It will cross us more than 500 controls. But the Microsoft recommended go and use max 500 controls. So just to keep the header, if you are using 20 controls in an app, then if you want to design the app, how many controls it will take? So I want to reduce the number of controls I'm going to use in this app now. This is the app I'm building. Components is the app. In this app, I want to reduce the number of controls. First, my requirement is I want to reduce the, instead of going and creating 3 text labels, I need to go and create only one text label and I need to reuse the text label in all the screens. In all the screens. This is what my requirement now. Now how to get this requirement? So in order to get this requirement, first let me remove this control. Let me remove these controls in all the screens. Remove this header. Remove the header for all the screens. Once after removing it, let me remove the here also. Now I don't have any headers case. Manually I don't want to keep it. Now I need to go and create the component. What component I will go and create now? Local component. Where we can create the local component? Within the Canvas app. Now this is my canvas app. This is my canvas. This is my canvas. Within the canvas, we can go and create the local components. Where we can go and create the local components means in the tree view, in the tree view, immediately after the screens, you will find an option called component. This is the place where you can go and create the local components sketch. This is the place where we can go and create what? Local components. Now just click on the components. Click on the components. Now see, here we'll have an option called new component. Now just go and click on the new component. Click on this new component. Now see, it is adding one component for me. Component name is component one, and this is the canvas it is giving me. Here you can build whatever the controls you want to reuse in multiple screens. You can build it here, and you can go and reuse it in those screens in the apps. So let me go and rename this component name. Let me rename it to header component. Header component. I'm going to create a component for the header. Now see here guys, for this I'm going to add one text label, and then increase the width, let me increase the size to 20, keep it in the bold, align to center. Font color I am changing to white, and also background color I am changing to orange. Now let me change the text. What's the text? Let's say I'm keeping the header. Let's say I'm keeping what? Header is the text I'm keeping. Now this is the component I'm creating. Now once if you create the component, now go to the screen, go to the screens, go to the welcome screen, and go to the insert tab. Once the component is created, this is the component I'm creating, one simple component, header component. Once if you create the component, go to the screens, go to the insert tab. How to call the components, how to call the local components within the canvas apps means within the screens. Go to the screen, in which screen you want to call the component, go to the insert, and you will find one option called custom here. Custom, expand the custom. Here you are able to see that component name. What's the component name? Just now we create. What's the name of the component? Header component. Now just go and click on it. Whenever I click on it, now see the component is added. This is the component. Now I want to keep it as a header. Now when I increase the size, it will increase the size here. Let us say I'm going to reduce the height also. I'm reducing the height. But if you see here, this header is not occupying the full screen here. It is not occupying the full screen. It is occupying up to here only. Up to here. Why? Because the component width is up to here itself. This is the component width. So it is taking only this width in the screen also. Then how to overcome this problem? How to overcome this problem? So keep in mind, whenever you are designing the components, whenever you are creating the components, you need to keep in mind the two properties. One is height, second one is width property. So what I will do here is, by default this is the width of the component. I want to increase this width based on the screen you are going to use. I want to make this component width to the screen width. I want to match this component screen with the screen width. How to match it? Now go to the component will have one property called width property. Go to the component will have one property called width property. Go to the width property. Currently it is 640. Now remove it. Now there is one function, app dot active screen. That means in which screen you are going to use this component, that screen width it will take. In which screen you can go and use this component, that screen width it will take here. App.active screen dot width. Now go to the once after passing this expression, go to the screens and then come back again to the components. Now see, automatically the width of this component is increased. Now select the header. Header also will have one property called width property. Go to the width property of the label. Now here currently it is 640. Now I'm going to remove it. I'm going to take it as a parent dot width. What is the parent for this label? Component. Component width has to be matched with this label, parent dot width. Now see, automatically it is adjusted to the actual width of the component. Now once after adding this, now I need to reduce the height also. This is the component height. I want to reduce the component height to the header width. Now what I will do, what is the header width? What is the height of the header? The height of the header is 64. Let me increase it to 65. The height of the header is 65. Now I want to make this component height also to 65 only. So select the component, go to the height property and change it here 65. Now see, automatically the component height is reduced, width is increased, and I'm keeping some header here. The text I'm keeping here is header. Now go to the screen. Now see, automatically it is added header. Now what is the text I'm keeping here is header. If you go, I want to add the same control, whatever the component I created here, I want to add the same component to this gallery screen also. Go to the gallery screen, go to the insert, go to the custom, add, click on the header component. Now see, automatically is added. When I go to the, now I need to go and add the same control to the form screen also. Go to the form screen, go to the insert tab and go to the custom, click on header component. Now click on it. Now see, now instead of going and adding the header manually, I'm creating the header only once by using the component. I'm going to reuse this header in multiple screens. But okay, fine. Instead of going and hard coding the values, I can go and use the header now. I can go and use the header as what? A component. Okay. Now see, when I go to the welcome screen, what is the header it is keeping? What is the text of the header? Just simple header it is keeping. When I go to the gallery, what is the header it is keeping? What is the text of the header? Header. What is the, in the form screen also, what is the header is keeping? Same text. So it is not changing the text. Now I want to change the text. I want to change the text dynamically. In the welcome screen, I want to change the text as welcome screen. In the, when I go to the gallery screen, I want to change the text to gallery. When I go to the form screen, I want to change the text to form screen. I want to change the text. I want, how to change the text is now. Currently, whatever the, in the component, whatever the header I'm keeping, whatever the text of the header, the same I'm showing it in this welcome screen, gallery screen, also header screen. I want to change the text now. If you want to change the text, go to the components. Components will have one property, guys. Select the component. Components will have a property, custom properties. We'll have an option called custom properties. With the help of custom properties, we can make this header text as dynamic. How to make it as dynamic means, go to the custom properties and click on new custom property. When I click on the new custom property, you need to fill some details here. Display name. What is the name you want to keep? Let us say I want to keep the name as header text. Header text. Here also name, another name, same names you can keep. Description, if you want to keep any description, you can go and keep. I'm not going to keep any description. And type, you are creating a one property here, new custom property. What type it is? You have the two types here, guys, input property and output property. I need to go and create the input property. I need to pass the input value to this component. So I need to select the property type as input. And data type, you are creating one property name is header text. Header text. This property text is what? Data type is what? If you go and select the data type, you have the multiple data types here: text, number, boolean, date and time, screen record, color, currency, video, audio. So here my requirement is I want to take the data type as what? Text. Select the text as a data type and go and click on create. Whenever I click on create, now see, here it is added one property, custom property. What's the custom property I added? What is the name of the property? Header text. Now once after adding this, go to the component. If you go to the properties of the component, here you are able to see that one, that property, whatever the property we created, we are able to see this property here, header text. Now select the component, go and select the header text. Currently it is keeping the value as what? Text. By default, what is the value it is keeping here is text is the value. Default value is text. Let me keep it as same. If you want to change, you can change. Let me keep it as same. And then select the label in the component. Go to the label, select the label, go to the text property of the label, go to the text property. What is the hard coded value text property label? Header. Now just remove it. Now go and use the component, header component, component name. What's the component name? Header component dot, that's control. What we created one property, right? That property name. What's the property name? Header text. Now see, Now it is changing to, what is the value, default value I kept there? The default value of this, header property is text. So now it is displaying the default value as text. Now go to the screens. Now see, it is changing the text. Now go to the welcome screen, expand it, select the component, and on the right side you will see the custom property. Now there is one option called custom property. What's that property we added? Header text. Go to this. Currently by default value is text. Remove the text, and I want to keep it as a, change the header as welcome. Now see, the header is changed. Now go to the gallery screen. By default that it is text. Select the component, go to the header property and rename it to gallery. Now see, the header name is changed. Now go to the form screen. By default is it as text. Now go to the header text property. Now rename it to forms. Now see, with the help of the custom properties, we are able to change the headers. If you want to change the header, you can change it. Welcome screen, gallery screen, form screen. If you are adding another one more screen, you can add to the screen. You can add the header custom. By default value is text. If you want to keep it as anything, you can keep it as, let us say I'm keeping here screen 4. What is this text I'm keeping? Screen 4. Now see, I'm able to change it like this. With the help of custom properties, we are able to pass the input values to the components. If you want to pass the input values to the components, you can go and use this properties, guys. Custom properties. There is one property called custom. This custom properties will play a major role while creating the components. We'll discuss all this, how, in which scenarios we can go and use different scenarios. And also one more thing. Now see, if you go to the screens, welcome screen, I'm having the background color as what? Orange. Gallery screen also I'm having the orange color. Form screen also I'm having the orange color. Now I don't want to keep the same background color, guys. I want to change the background colors for each screen. So if you want to change the background color here in the screens, it is not possible. Go to the component, again select the component, go and create another property. Go to the new custom property. Let me change it to fill color, header fill color. This is the name I am keeping. Now in the type is input property. Now data type is what? There is one property, one data type called color, guys. Select the data type as color. Now go and click on create. Now go to the component, the property is created. Go to the component, click on the properties. Here you are able to see this. This is the property. Now see, what is the default color? The default color, it is taking it as black. Now I don't want to keep the default color as black. I want to keep the default color as what? Orange. If you want to change the color, you can go and change it. How to change the default color? Select the component, go to the background color, or let me do one thing. Select the label, go to the fill color. It is color. Let me go to the fill color. Fill. Select copy. It is orange now. Copy this RGB colors. Copy it and go to the component, header fill color. Currently it is black. I am changing it to orange. Default color I want to keep it as orange. Now go to the screens. Screen 1. For header color I want to change it to orange to, if you see another property is added, header fill color. I want to change it to blue color, guys. Let me go and change it to blue. Select the control, change it to blue. It is not changing. Why it is not changing means, go to the label. In the label also will have one property. What is that property? Fill property. Currently for this label, what is the fill? It is taking the orange. Just remove it. Now I want to take the header component. From the component I want to take what? Header fill color. Now go to the screens. Now see, the screen color is header color is changing. Background color, blue color. Now go to the gallery. Here it is orange. By default color is orange. Now I want to change it to something else. Let me go and change it to green. So it is changing the color. If you go to the third screen, form screen, here it is green, orange. If you want to keep orange, you can keep, or if you want to change, you can go and change the color here. Let's say I'm changing it to something like blue color, light blue color. So like this, if you want to change the background color, here it is blue color. In screen 2 it is something like green, in screen 3 it is some other color. So if you want to change the colors, you can go and change it. If you want to change the font, you can change. If you want to change the font style also, you can go and change it by using the input controls. And also see here guys, another one more requirement here is, let me increase the width of this. Let me go to the label, select the label. Currently it is 45. Let me keep it as 75. Let me keep it as 75. Go to the screens. Now see here guys, automatically here also it is increases. Now what's my requirement here is, all the screens, if you go to any app, on the top right side you will find the which user you are logging, user image you are able to see. If you go to the Amazon, Flipkart, also on the top right side you are able to see your image, and then you are able to see your name. You are able to see your name on the top. You are able to see your email ID here also. Now I want to perform the same operations. Why it is not increasing here? Go to the screens. It is 65 still. Just save it and refresh it. It is not updated. Save the app, publish the app, and then click on refresh. If I refresh, now it will load the data. I'm increasing the width of the component. In the screens it is not increasing the width, so I'm just going to refresh the app now. Let it refresh. Now next, I shown you how to create the header dynamically instead of going and hard coding it manually. Still 66. $75. Now go. Now it is increased guys. Now what's my requirement here is, in every screen I want to show the user image, username, user email ID on the top. So this is what my requirement. So what I will do, go to the component, go and add one control called image control. Go and add a control called image. Keep the image here. Fit the image here. Now in the image, go to the image icon, go to the property called image property. Here I'm going to use one function, user.image. User.image. That means which user logging in, that user image we are able to show it here. We're able to show it here. So currently I'm not having any profile guys. I don't have any image for my profile. So let me do one thing. Let me go and add. From here itself we can add. Update new photo. Let me add one picture. Let me go to the documents itself. Let me go to the images. Let me add this image. Open. Apply. Click on done. Again refresh. It is not loading. Again refresh the app just once. Refresh it. So which user is logging in, that user name I want to display, user image I want to display on the top. I don't want to make it as manual. Here also for this requirement I'm going to use this as dynamic. Go to the component. Now see, I'm able to see the image. This is the image I'm adding. This is the image. Now if you want to do some any formattings, you can go into the formattings for this case. If you want to do any formatting, you can go into the formatting. Rounded border colors, if you want to change, you can change. And also I want to add a text label. In this text label I want to display the username. In this text label I want to display what? The username. So go and keep it in center. Let me keep it as left. Change the font color to white. Let me increase some width, 14. Now go to the text property. let me remove this. In the text property, I'm going to use one function, user dot full name. User dot full name. Now see, automatically it is displaying the username. What's my username? What's the name I'm using? User 36. And also in the same way, I need to go and show the email ID also. So go and add another one more control, text control, keep it here, reduce some size, uh, go to the, go and change the text color white, go and keep it in the, change it to 14. And now let me go to the text, go to the text, and I'm using here user dot email. I want to show the user email. Now see, it is displaying the user email like this. Each and every screen, if you go to few apps is there where you will see this, guys. If you go to any one of the screen, in every screen they will show the username and they will display the, sorry, user image, what is the profile, username and email ID. This is what my requirement now. So this is what I'm doing here also. So the same thing, username, email ID, and what is the logo image. Now once after adding this two, now you can go to the screens now. Now see, if you go to the screens, automatically it is added, image is added, username is added, user email ID is added. If you go to the screen 3, that is gallery screen, in the gallery screen also it is added, profile is added, username, and then email ID. If you go to the screen 3, here also it is added. So in every screen I want to display the username and I want to display the user email ID and profile of that user. So go and make it as dynamic. So like this you can go and create the headers. And as I said that if you want to use this local components, whatever the component you are creating here, if you want to use this local components in multiple screens of the app, this is one screen, this is another screen, this is another screen, you can use it. But if you want to use this local components in another screen, means, sorry, not screen, another app, it is not possible to use the local components in another app directly. It is not possible, but there is a way where you can go and use this local components in another app's case. How to do it means, go to the component, go to the components, click on these three dots, you can import this component. Sorry, first export it, first export the component. Whenever I click on the export, it is going to download this component in my local system. Click on export, click on download. Now it is downloaded. If you go to the downloads folder, you will see it. If you go to the downloads folder, you are able to see it here, components. Now once after downloading it, once after exporting the component, now save the app, go and open another app, go and open another app. I'm not going to use this app, guys. I will show you now how to use the local components in another app. It is not possible directly. You can export the component and you can import the component in another app. I'm going to get another app. Let me keep the blank app. I'm keeping the name as component test. Component test is the name. Click on create. Now go to the components, go to these three dots, click on export now. So not export, import. I want to import the component whatever I downloaded. Click on import. Now see, it is showing the value here. It is showing that which component I want to import. You are not able to see it here, means go to the upload file. When I click on the upload a file, it will go to the your local system, go to the downloads folder and select the component here. Click on open. Now see, I'm adding that whatever the component I'm creating in the another app, I'm able to use those components here. Now the component is imported. So like this, directly we are not able to use the local components in another app. First you need to export that component and then import that component in any one of the app where you want to reuse it. So this is how to use the local components in another app. By default is not possible, but you can export the component and you can import the component in any one of the app where you want to reuse it. So this is about all about local components, guys. Next one is what? Global components. Now how to create this global components means you can create it on the outside of the canvas apps by using the component library. So let me show you how to create the global components. In order to go and create the global components, we are not able to create within the canvas. Within the canvas, we are not able to create. Outside of the canvas, you can create. So just Don't save. I don't want to save it. Now go to this. Previously, where we can create in the older versions, guys, I think last 1 month or 2 months back, I think it is the UI is changed. Previous 1 or 2 months back, where you can go and create the global components means you can go to the apps. When I go to the apps, here I am able to see an option called component libraries, or on the top I am able to see an option called component libraries. But the UI is changed. This is the older version, older UI. But in the later UI, the Power Apps is changing the UI. So where you can see, where we can create this component libraries means, first of all, go to the go to more, and click on discover all. Discover all. And I click on discover all. If you scroll down here, you are able to see here the component libraries. Click on pin. Click on this icon. Pin the component libraries to the left navigation. Click on it. Now see, automatically the components libraries is added. Now go to the apps. Go to the apps. Now in the left navigation, you are able to see an option called component libraries. Go and select the component libraries. I said that where we can create outside of the Canvas app. Currently I'm not in the Canvas app. I'm in the Power Apps. Go and click on the component library. When I click on the component library, here you can see new component library. Click on this for to create a new component library, or you can create here also, create component libraries. Let me click on this new component library. Let me pass the name, header component library. Header component library. I'm going to create a component outside of the Canvas app by using the component libraries. These components are called as global components. Click on create. Now see, it will go and open the one component screen where we can go and design the components. Let it open. Now see here, guys, it is opening the components. Now it is currently we are creating the header component libraries. Now here you can go and design same how you are designing the components in the local components, same here in the global components also. But local components are created within the Canvas. Global components are created by using the component libraries outside of the Canvas apps. So go to the components here, just go and add one text label. um, Keep it 20, bold, center, font color, background color. Now change the font, the text here, guys. Let me keep it as header. Header. I'm not going to show you again how to go and create the input properties, color property, changing dynamically, guys. Everything will be same here. Also, you can go and create. Just I will show you here how to create a global component. Now this is the header I'm creating. Now for this also, component will have one property, width property. Go to the width property. Here change it to app dot active screen dot width. That means on which screen you are using, either you are using the tablet mode or you are using the mobile mode, automatically it need to adjust the width of the component. So I'm using this. Once after keeping this, go to the screens and then come back again. Come back again. It is not increasing. Okay, maybe it is a global component, right? It will show you the difference while you are using the main apps. Once after creating it, now select the label, go to the width property. Label have one property called width. Label have one property called width property. Go to the width property, change it to parent dot width. Parent, what is the parent for this label? Component. So parent dot width, and then select the component. Component will have one property. What is it property? Height property. Go to the height property. Now whatever the height of the header is having, the same height I want to keep. 70 is the height. The same height I want to keep here also. Component height 70. Now see, I'm creating one global component here. Now once after creating the global component, you can go to the screens. Let me go to the custom screens. Go to the customs. Here you are not able to see it. Hey, you are able to see it here. Yes, we are able to see. From here you can see the component. What is the name of this component? The name of the component is component one. You can go here, go to the insert, and then go to the custom component one. When I click on add, now see automatically this fit. Here the width is different. Here the width is different, but when I go and add the screen, here the width is fitting to the screen. Why? because of this function I'm using on the component width property. This is most important, guys. App dot active screen, this is most important. So like this, if you want to use, if you can go and create another screen in the screen also, if you want to use it means you can go and use it. Go to the custom, click on it, header. Go and add another screen. If you want to use the header in this screen 3 also, go and click on insert, and you can click on what, custom. From here you can add it, or you can go to this plus icon here. Here it is also for insert only. Insert, go to the custom. Here you can see this component libraries. You can add it from here also. See, the header is added. How to make it as dynamic, how to change the header, how to change the header text, how to change the background color, same thing whatever we discussed in the local component, same operations here also. Just try to understand how to create a global variable, how you are designing the components in the local components, the same design here also. But where we'll create the components is different, where we are going to create the global components is different. Local components will create in the canvas, global components will create it on outside of the canvas with the help of component libraries. Now see, this is the component I'm creating. This is the component I created, header component. Now save it, publish it. Once after publish, now go back. I want to use this global component. No need to export, no need to import the global components. If you create a component, you can see it here. Now go and create a new app. Go and create a new app, that is tablet. I'm keeping the name as test component library. I want to test the component library, whether this component libraries, that means global components, are working or not. I want to use this component library, whatever the global component I created, in another canvas app. This is another canvas app, new canvas. In this, go to this, and you will find an option here, get more components. By default you will see an option here called get more components. When I click on this get more components, here you are able to see the component, global component name. What's the global component name? Component 1. Click on import. Now go to the screens. Now you are able to say where it is. Maybe it is added here, maybe it will be added here. See, you are able to see one option called library components. Expand it, you are able to see that component here. Next, go and click on this. Whenever I click on it, now the header is added. Now if you want to change the headers, how to create the input properties. If you want to change the background color, how to go and create an input property, already we discussed it. Go and use the same design. So if once the global component is created, if you want to reuse it in multiple apps, you can go and reuse it. But if you create a local component, if you want to reuse it, means by default it's not possible to reuse it. We need to export the local component and then import the local component to any one of the app where you need to go and reuse it. So this is what is meant by a local component, and what is meant by global components, and how the components are going to be used in the real-time scenarios. Whenever there is a requirement where you can go and where we can go and use the same components or same group of controls in multiple screens. Whenever if you want to reuse the same group of controls in multiple screens of the apps, instead of going and doing that operation manually, go and make it as dynamic by creating some components. Here in today's session I shown you just how to show the username, email id, user image, and how to change the, how to create a header, how to change the text of the headers, how to change the background color of the header, and how to show the user image, user name, and user email id. Like this, if there is anything you want to keep it in the header where you want to repeat in all the screens, go and add it here simply. Then you can reduce the number of controls. Now see how many controls I'm reducing here. One is label, second one is user, four controls I'm reducing. One screen, four controls. How many screens? Three screens. 3 fours are 12 controls I'm reducing. Instead of using 12 controls, how many controls I'm using? I'm using only 4 controls. So in this way you can go and improve the performance of your app. And also if you are reducing the number of controls you are using in the app, the, the complexity of the apps will be reduces. Your app will be more efficient. The users can interact with the app frequently also. They won't face any difficulties to interact with the app. And so next point here is, what are the advantages of components, guys? Finally, one more point I need to keep here. What are the advantages you will get when if you go and create the components? Let me go and keep here. What are the advantages to create the apps? That means components. What are the advantages you are going to get while creating the components? The first one is components are used to reduce the number of controls the number of controls in the canvas apps. Whenever if you want to reduce the number of controls in the canvas apps, then you can go and you create the components. And another one is, by if you are creating the components, we are able to improve the performance of the app. Components will increase or improve the performance of the canvas apps. Whenever if you want to improve the performance of the canvas apps, then go and create this components. And also, if your app is exceeding more than 500 controls, then try to reduce the number of controls. How we can reduce the number of controls means by using the components we can reduce the number of controls. So this is all about what is meant by component, how to create the local components, how to use those components, in which scenarios you can go and use the components, and how to create the global components. Here I have shown you in today's session one simple example how to create a header. In the next class I will show you how to create a pop-up window. If you see, we created one pop-up window, guys. If you observe, when I'm discussing about the gallery, when I'm discussing about the galleries, I created two pop-up windows. Let it open. Now if you observe here, when I go and play the app, when I click on the delete option, when I click on the delete icon, it will take some confirmation from us. Delete record. Are you sure, or you want to delete the record? Yes. When I click on yes, then only it will delete. If I click on no, it won't delete the record. And also when I go and click on this right arrow, I'm able to see the complete details of that employee. When I click on edit, when I do any changes here, when I go and click on the app without saving, when I go and click on back button, now also here I'm creating one pop-up, unsaved data. So let me click on yes. Now here I'm creating the two pop-ups. One pop-up is for delete, another pop-up is for back button. So instead of, let us say there are 20 screens is there in my app. For all the each and every screen, I need to have this back button. I'm having the back button. So how many components I need to go and create? To create one component, one rectangular box, here another rectangular box, one text box, this is another text box, one button, another button. Totally how many controls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 controls I'm using. To create the 20 pop-ups, 2 6 are 12. That means 120 controls I am using just to create the pop-ups. So remaining, the number of controls to create an app increases more than 500. If I want to reduce it, so I want to go and create a component where we can go and create this pop-up. I want to make this as dynamic. I want to reuse this pop-ups in 20 screens. So instead of going on a hard coding, doing it manually again and again in all the screens, the number of controls will be increases. So to overcome this problem, you can go and create what? You can go and use the components here. You can go and use the components. With the help of components, we can go and create the pop-up windows. How to create a pop-up window? With the help of components, we'll be discussing it in the tomorrow's class. In the next class, we'll discuss. So coming two more classes also, we'll discuss about the components only, guys. How to create a pop-up window, how to create the left navigations. These two scenarios I will discuss regarding the pop-ups. Fine. Let me stop here. Let's go to the questions now. Online people, if you have any questions, unmute from it and go ahead.